I keep telling myself and everyone that I'm okay and that I have no problems. It's because I'm afraid that if they knew the truth that I'm struggling, they might judge me. So I want them to think that everything is going well for me. Hello, my name is Lorena Mina.
Si Catrish D. De Vera.
My name is Miguel Lamano.
My name is Leona Andrea B. Panaligan.
Hi, I'm JC Manuel Tidoroca
And
I am a STEM student.
Why do you say you are okay even when you are not?
I always say that I'm okay even though I'm not, because I'm not that open type of person when it comes to expressing my thoughts, because I'm afraid of what others might say. I'm afraid of being told that I'm just creating drama to make people sorry for me.
I know this is unhealthy, but I do this quite often. I keep telling myself and everyone that I'm okay and that I have no problems. It's because I'm afraid that if they knew the truth that I'm struggling, they might judge me. So I want them to think that everything is going well for me. It also makes me uneasy with others seeing my vulnerable side, which is why I don't seek help that much, even though I'm really having a hard time.
Well, there are times that I did say I wasn't okay and it never really worked out because they couldn't understand me. I just thought I made things worse by just telling them, and since they couldn't understand me, they think it's just a phase for me and they think I'm overreacting.
For me, saying that I'm okay is the safest way for me to keep my emotions and feelings safe from others.
People who confess that they're not okay are considered weak in our society. Some of us are afraid to get judged, so we prefer keeping our feelings low key. Not everyone can understand how we feel, but there are few people who may.
Do you feel overwhelmed by your own and other people's expectations?
Yes, I've been feeling stressed about my future as an achiever. People, especially my parents, expect good results from me. Of course, hearing compliments from others boosted my morale, but eventually it began to put too much pressure on me. Even though my parents no longer pressure me that much now, I still put pressure on myself. It also triggers me when someone reminds me that I was like this in the past, like how good I was in elementary. It makes me anxious that I would end up overthinking about it.
Yes, having high expectation from yourself and from others and not claiming the results you've wanted is the most painful things that might happen to a person.
Yes, I overwhelmed by myself and other people's expectations of me, because I'm afraid of failing, I'm afraid of being a disappointment, and I'm afraid of being compared again.
I can handle my own expectations pretty well. I know what I can't do and I know what I can do. But when it comes to other people's expectations, I try to push myself a bit too far by trying to impress them, and it usually takes a lot from me. Like, I sacrifice my time of sleep just to prepare for something. But there are also times where I need to impress other people since they may give me opportunities for the future, which are often very rare.
Why do you think teenagers are more prone to mental health problems?
I think it's because they are new to these things and they don't know how to deal with it. They're suddenly expected to be good examples for new generations while still being children themselves.
I think it's due to the fact that we humans want to be liked or accepted by society, specifically teenagers. But sadly, this may lead them to worry too much about others, about what others are thinking about them, and can also affect their current mental state.
Because in our generation today, it is usually within a family that there is a loss of trust and judgment that causes depression that greatly affects their mental health.
How are you managing your academic workload as a student?
Just cherish and enjoy my senior high school life. You know, it's the beginning of my journey as a student, and things might get worse on the college, but who knows? Not just fun and enjoyment. We need also to add hard work and perseverance so we can get through this.
I usually set aside housework for later and I prioritize my schoolworks. Sometimes it isn't enough, so I try to sacrifice some sleep in order to finish an activity. I take my breaks and I enjoy them as much as possible so I can have a balance.
I manage it by managing my time, by giving myself enough time to rest, by getting enough sleep, and making my head put in serenity.
Honestly, I don't handle my workloads that well. I often procrastinate that leads to having lack of sleep. But nowadays, I try my very best to follow the schedule I make for accomplishing these workloads.
Does your everyday routine as a student get affected by academic stress?
Yes, because every time I want to spend my time and relax, I feel some sort of guilt for not doing any of my academics.
Yes, imagine going to school 5 times in a week and after that do some household chores in our house. Just imagine the stress that these activities gives to us, but I can handle it pretty well.
Yes, sometimes I feel pressured and stressed by doing some activities that quite difficult for me to handle.
Like any other students, I also experience academic stress that interfere with my studies and cause my anxiety. Also because of academic stress, I can take enough breaks from schoolworks for self-care.
What advice can you give to people going through a tough time right now?
I'm not a person who usually give advice, but I just want to tell them that it is okay not to be okay, that what they're feeling is valid. Also, taking breaks and resting from everything is definitely fine, as long as they know when to get back on track again.
Don't forget to rest, always value yourself.
I like to think that life is full of surprises and it's necessary to have bad days in order to enjoy the good days.
For me, there's no certain advice that I can give to others, but just ignore the comments that you'll hear from others, especially when it's negative, because it doesn't count on your life, and just keep pushing through. Just keep going until you reach your dreams.
What I can advise to people who are suffering or in a difficult situation is to think positively and always look at the good things that are happening in their lives.